So recently I played.
I play what?
No. Just eat your snack. I played a Scotch game that ended in a draw, and it was a rook ending that I could have lost, maybe should have lost, but I was able to secure the draw. But that got me thinking that I need to work on some end games. You know, the whole point of these videos, this whole thing I'm doing, is to make myself better. And you can't just get better only by playing games. You need to study. You need to put in the work. So that's what this is about. So let us begin. We're going to look at. Oh, what am I looking at? So how am I studying this? This is today we're going to be looking at starting out Rook Endgames by Chris Ward. Alright, I'm just jumping into somewhere. I'm not going from the beginning to the ending. So where it's introducing more pawns chapter, and we're going to be looking at pawn types. So often it is not the quantity of the pawns involved that's important. It's not the quantity. It's not how many pawns involved that's important, but the structure, quality.
What structure?
Well, how the pawns are set up. Are they connected? Are they not connected? Are they isolated? And the stage of advancement. How far along are they? Okay.
Along where?
On the board. So if they're closer to getting promoted,
Queen.
no queen. We want to get one of these pawns to become the queen. That's the whole point of an
I don't
endgame.
see a pawn.
You see pawns.
There's only.
Here's a black pawn. Here's a black pawn. Here's a white pawn.
How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 pawns.
Yes.
And 2 kings.
Yes.
And 1 bishop.
No bishops. 2 rooks. This is a rook down here, and there's a rook up here. Alright. So, what do we do in this position? So, in the book he says rook a7. But I think the computer says to go here, which is crazy, right?
How long do you
Why would you do that?
to be queen?
And black is trying to promote, but you get this pawn. Huh. So is that what it is?
Here you go.
Is this pawn in time? No, because you could check. You could go down. Check. Now you're here. So I guess if you move the rook in the bottom, okay. Bring that down. So you just hide. Okay. How interesting is that? Not bad. Alright, so. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. But he doesn't say that. He says to go rook a7. Does it cause us to lose?
Say?
No, it's still about the same. It's just, I guess, a different way to
Who
win.
said?
Chris Ward in the book.
Who's Chris Ward?
He wrote this book. Who he is exactly, I don't know, but he must be a grandmaster, GM.
Daddy? Who writing books for a long time?
Go wash your face. You're very messy. Okay. From the snack. Oh. Okay. Rook a1. Take this pawn. Now what should white do? What do I think white should do? Gotta worry about this one. Should I bring this guy up? Maybe? Maybe that's a good idea. Let's see. King d5 is better. As we know only too well, once black's a pawn makes it down to a2, the white king will be vulnerable to a check.
Daddy, who write the books for a long time?
I don't know, kiddo. This book, it was Chris Ward. You don't know the guy.
Who's Chris Ward?
I don't know, he's a GM.
What's a geo?
GM. He's a grandmaster. He's very good at chess. He studied a lot and he became a grandmaster. He's one of the best in the world. I mean, not one of the best, but he's up there, okay?
Up where?
Up in the top, okay?
Up in the top where?
Up on the top of the chess world.
Huh?
He's good enough to write a book, so let's just take his word for it, okay?
Where do we go to? Where's the chess world?
Alright. Oh, it's not
the book?
It's like make-believe land, okay?
Where's the chess world?
It's just it's where the people play chess.
You want to go there to play chess?
Yes. Can I do this now, please? No?
Okay, yes.
Thank you. Alright, as we know only too well, once black's a pawn. This?
No, that really high.
This?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, how long did I have to? And who gave it to me? That
We got when we went to a baseball game. Uncle Trevor gave it to us, okay?
was what?
Teeny, you have to go. I'm doing this.
Okay, I just want to look at this.
As we know only too well, once black's a-pawn makes it down to a2, the white king will be vulnerable to a check. That's
What?
correct. So that's why we're gonna get
Check, always out.
that's why we're gonna get the white king out of the checking area. Okay, that's fine. Always be on the lookout for possible king shelter when an enemy rook is in front of its passed pawn. Right? Find shelter.
They can
Good
have
tip.
a gun.
H4.
They
Yeah.
can have a gun. A piece of
There you go.
Thank you.
H4. So black's got to bring down the other pawn since this one seems stuck, I guess. And I wonder if he starts to bring this down, maybe I will do this. Yeah, maybe it's an idea. Okay, so let's bring down the
It
other.
looks like foggy again.
Yep, it's foggy. King to D6. Center pawns are often superior to outside pawns in rook endings. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense, right? There's more space, you can do more here than you can on the outside of the board. I guess the one benefit maybe is it could be more difficult to catch a flying pawn, an H pawn, or an A pawn because it's so far away from. Okay. Center pawns are often superior to outside pawns in rook endings. Typically, outside pass pawns are preferable in endgames. Outside pass pawns, yes. However, provided the defending rook can get behind the outside pawns, that is not the case in rook endings. But, however, provided the defending rook can get behind the outside pawns, that is not the case in rook endings. Typically, outside pass pawns are preferable in endgames, right? Outside pass pawns. However, provided the defending rook can get behind the outside pawns. That is not the case in rook endings. The simple reason for that is that in all other types of endings, the king must travel to the edge to stop and capture a passed pawn. In rook endings, however, a king must travel to the edge if it wants to make something out of its own passed pawn. Let that sink in for a moment. Beware the throwaway remark that center pawns are better than outside pawns in the opening. But it's vice versa in the endgame. The truth is that extra center pawns are at least as at least as important as outside ones in endgames, in which are in which rooks are involved. In this example, the presence of center pawns has provided the white king with cover.
Yeah, I like this thing.
Okay. In this example, the presence of center pawns has provided the white king with cover in which to help him advance through the middle. A key point is that between the center pawns and the king, checkmate can be threatened, right? Always at least give consideration to the concept of advancing the king before the pawns. Advance the king before the pawns, right? That makes sense? Advance the kings before the pawns. Kings can always go back if they have to, but the pawns can never go back, right?
Huh?
Pawns can never go back. Once you move them forward, they keep going forward. They don't go back.
What did I say again? I said when pawns go forward, they don't go back.
Yeah, you're right. Always at least give consideration to the concept of advancing the king before the pawns. Returning to white's third move, because he has his own serious threats. There is no need for white to engage in, let's say, 3. So white has some threats, so he doesn't have to He doesn't have to worry about this. He doesn't have to worry about this pawn, right? Because we got serious threats going on. Black has to do something.
What does black have to do?
He's got to protect his king. That's for sure. Like I said, there's absolutely no need for this repetitive. So we don't have to worry about. Rook to h7.
Are you white?
Rook to h1.
Are you white?
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that nonsense. Okay.
Daddy, can I have that?
So
I wanna
let's
look at
see. h3. Not right now. No, not right now. e6. That would be checkmate next to me, right? Looking for checkmate. Looking for checkmate. Rook h7. Again, rook h7 would be silly. Oh, it would win. But the text demonstrates the tempi luxury white has, despite the fact that both sides' pawn started off equally advanced. Okay. Okay. Rook h1. Oh, king f8. Rook h1. Yes. Why? What's the point? I guess attack that. So rook h1. e7 check. That's it. You go here. Wow. How cool is that? Now what do we do? Do we just put him in check? Or do you try and save the rook? Rook h8. King e8. What? Hold on. That's not what the book says. The book says go e8. Then we go here. Alright, that's kinda. Well, what if we go here? Then what? So just go there, go there, there. Huh. Alright, that makes sense. Very nice. Very nice. Let's talk about big majorities. The next case pitches 2 connected passed pawns against 3. So 2 passed pawns against 3 passed pawns. That's why it's move. The more the merrier. After playing over this example, you will probably conclude that white would still be winning even if black had extra pawns, say, on e7 and d6. e7, d6. Really? Would he still be winning? I don't know. Hard to say. The significant factor is how far advanced the pawns are, and clearly white's pawns have already left their traps. Clearly white's pawns have already left their traps. Okay. So we just push, right? A5, H5, H4, H5, B5. Nice. B5. Okay. B4? What do you do? F5. Makes sense, I guess, maybe. These two. Because they were so far advanced. Oh, okay. F5. Problem with having more pawns, admittedly, not usually a problem, is that it takes more time to push them. Oh. Black may as well pick a couple of pawns and go with it. But here, that wouldn't work either, as the white pawns had a head start. Yeah. A6. Wow. Oh, goodness. How come we don't move the king this time? Well, I guess now we could. Well, let's get close, right? Because then if we go there next move, he has to come here. Then, wow. Yeah. This looks good for white. Alright, so A6, H4, A7, H3, B6, King F6. Why? Why would you do that? King F6? Huh. Okay. Interesting. So, what now? White wins. Oh, I guess so, right? B7. White wins. If black could have sacrificed his rook for the 2 pawns, then his huge majority on the other side of the board would have won the day. The advantage of possessing connected pawns is that the defending rook is rarely able to give itself up for more than one of the pawns. This example hasn't really provided anything new. It has merely reiterated how strong connected pawns are in endgames. Wow, that's cool. What is it, like a map?
Dad.
What is it? Pizza?
No.
A house?
No. No. I mean.
No, okay.
You know.
And remind us that past pawns are meant to be pushed.
Dad.
Yes, I'm almost done.
This is a baby. This is the one with all the babies you can fill in with a crib. Where the baby wants to sleep, all the babies can get in here.
Okay.
I think it's the house. I made a house. You like it?
Yes, beautiful house.
It's our house.
Is that our house? We live there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very cool.
Bye-bye.
Alright, so here's an example to illustrate a spot of practical advice that could easily win you points. Hopefully, you just like all the other advice. Hopefully all this advice helps. Rook takes f7. Rook takes f7. Huh? It's black's turn? No, it's white's turn. Rook takes f7. Boom. When trying to convert a pawn up rook any, it is much better to reach a position with +2 pawns on one side and -1 pawn on the other, rather than simply 1 pawn up on one side and level on the other side. It's much better to reach a position with +2 pawns on one side and a -1 pawn on the other, than simply a 1 pawn up on one side and level on the other. It's much better to reach a position with +2 pawns on one side. Now +2 pawns. Okay. and minus 1 pawn on the other side. So here white is +2 and -1. So that's easier than simply 1 pawn up, then 1 pawn up on this side and level. So this would be harder to win. This is easier to win. Okay, I get it. Regarding rook takes a7, king takes g7. Wait, rook takes a7, king to g7 is of course a theoretical draw. This is a theoretical draw. And many weaker players might opt to take the a pawn rather than the f pawn. Their logic might be that now they can try to win without having any losing chances whatsoever. The reality of the situation is that the rook and 3 versus rook and 2 on the same side offers few winning chances. Yet the main example shows there are even fewer losing chances by creating the big majority. There are even fewer losing chances by creating the big majority. However, these chances commonly become inflated as players overestimate an opponent's passed pawn. So, yeah. This is scary, but you have better chances here. So rook takes f7, a5. Oh goodness. Now what? Rook a7. Let's get behind the passed pawn. That's what we need to do. And you get here rook a2. Gotta protect it. So we got 1 pawn against 3. That is kind of cool. Generally, a rook is more actively placed defending a pawn from the side rather than in front. A rook is generally more actively placed defending a pawn from the side than from in front. So, does that mean he should win here? I don't know. What? Yeah. Should have won here. This is better. It's more active. Okay. Gotta be more active. Regarding the above tip, that usually makes life easier for a king to advance and help usher the pawn through. In this particular instance, no, rook b5 doesn't constitute much of an improvement as the black king is cut off on the back rank and miles from the queen side. Okay, so it doesn't matter here because, let's just say, he will never, just trying to make moves. But it doesn't matter because this black king can never get here because of this guy. He has created a wall. So the king is stuck to the back rank. Cool. In this, the king is cut off. Alright, so h4. h4. Sorry. h4, a4. Referring to the initial a pawn or f pawn debate, the crux of the matter is that provided the white king remains sheltered from checks, black's pawn is no threat whatsoever. I think it's fair to say that the chances of black being able to wander his king over to b8 and down the b file to aid in the a pawn's promotion are slim. However, if it could, for example, with white doing a king f2, g2, f3, g2, hokey cokey for a while, white would concede his rook for the pawn. White would, get rid of this True. White, if everything fails, we just trade this rook for this pawn and have a good chance of promoting. Okay. Rook f1. Where are we now? Wait, king f3. King f3. a3. g4. Okay. Okay. g4. Now what? Rook a1. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. King f4. Okay. King f4, a2. Let's get this pawn down here. King g5. Oh, wow, look at that. We're getting close. Take that pawn and we could checkmate. That's a threat for sure. The whole idea of h5. G takes h5. G takes h5. This is a silly one. So this is silly. Yeah. That doesn't help us, right? Because then this pawn is harder to promote because it's on the outside. Okay. I mean, not the outside. It's on this the H file. H file and A files are difficult to promote. Yes. Aside from the fact that black could liquidate to an easy rook and pawn versus rook draw, it goes against all the principles about keeping the pawns connected. Keep the pawns connected. That's the principle. Keep them connected. Yes. Rook f1. Oh, wait, wait. Rook f1. Why? Did I miss something? G5, rook f1. Rook takes a2. Now it's over, yeah. Note that it's critical here, but not that it's critical here, but note how the rook captures the pawn and immediately defends the pawn on the second rank. Yes. When the opponent has his rook passively placed on the queening square in front of a pawn on the 7th rank, as an attacker, consider leaving one of your pawns on the 2nd rank. Often this makes it more difficult for your opponent to arrange a pawn trade. Consider leaving one of your pawns on the 2nd rank. Yes. Okay. Often this makes it more difficult for your opponent to arrange a pawn trade that might switch the imbalance back to him being just one pawn down on one side. Cool. Okay, that's it for this time, but we'll look back into this again. This end games are worth checking out. You gotta know end games. All right, thank you. Bye bye.